What's up, everybody? I got a bunch of Keyforge decks. In fact, I bought 6 of them and couldn't wait to make the video, and I had to open one of them, so I opened one of them. So let's take a look at the first one that I opened. Yes, I scanned the QR code already, so hopefully that doesn't get stolen the info, but I believe because I scanned it already, it's good to go. So this is the first deck that I opened of the 6 that I've purchased just today. So the Diligent Advisor is a sweet name for a deck. We've got Logos, Untamed, and Dis as the 3 houses that make this deck up. Let's take a look at the deck itself. We've got Double Witch's Eye, the Witch of the Eye, which is a really cool card. Lets you fetch for stuff that's in your discard pile. Piranha Monkeys was a card I never actually saw, but it's got a play and a reap ability for that. We've got 2 Mushroom Man cards, which are very, very powerful because they get the +3 if your opponent doesn't have a forged key. You get Dust Pixie here that does literally nothing for you except give you 2 amber, and it's a body on the field, which is fine. Dew Fairy, which is a 2 power, elusive creature. Every time you reap, you gain an additional 1 from the reap ability, so you're getting 2. You want to keep that out in the field. It's a really cool card. Then we've got Word of Returning, which is pretty sweet. I'll let you read that. I'm not going to bore you with the details. We've got Vigor, which allows you to heal some stuff and get some stuff. Pretty cool card. Goes well with some of the other things in this deck. Exhaust up to 3 creatures. We've got 2 Nocturnal Maneuvers, which is a very powerful control card in my book. Got Fog Bank. You can your opponent can't use their creatures on the next turn to fight. I think there's actually 2 or 3 effects of that in this deck, which makes this a really interesting one. Valen Analyst, which doesn't have a lot of triggers because this is looking for artifacts. There are only 3 artifacts in the deck. We've got Mother. That one's pretty straightforward. Many people know that one already. Quixo, that's probably how you pronounce that. I don't know. We've got 2 of them, the Adventurer. 2 of them, so a couple of draw mechanics built into the deck. We've got another draw mechanic built into the deck in Dock. We've got Dexter, who captures and then also can kind of cycle himself, which is pretty cool. We've got one of the 3 artifacts in the deck, which is the Destroy a Damaged Creature Anomaly Exploiter. Pretty cool. Wild Wormhole, which is a fun card. It lets you just play something from the top, off the top. We've got Double Phase Shift, so you can play 1 non-Logos card whenever you play that. Library Access, because that card's amazing and broken and fun. Fogify, so there's the other of maybe 1 more in this. Effects that keeps your opponent from attacking with their creatures. We've got a Maverick in here of Mother again, so we've got 2 Mothers in the deck, which means if you get them both out, then you can do some fun, crazy things with filling your hand up. Toxin. The Dis portion of this deck is really sweet. So Toxin, the Terror, so double Toxin, then we have the Terror, Succubus, which is a really fun card if you can get it to stick early on. Schuler. I'm going to guess that's how you pronounce Schuler, but he's really cool too. Doesn't do a ton, but he's a 5 power body. The third of the artifacts in the deck is this one that lets you archive a card. We've got Lash of Broken Dreams. That's the third one, excuse me. Pandemonium. So this one's really interesting. This combos with the Untamed card from earlier. Capture, so it makes all the undamaged creatures capture 1 from its opponent. And then you can do some stuff with that here in a moment. Mind Barb, it's a cool card. And then you can just destroy each creature with any of the amber on it. So you can have them all capture it, then just destroy whatever you want. And finally, we end with Gateway to Dis, which is just a really amazing board clear. So a really cool little deck. I'm excited to jump in to see what these other 5 are. This makes my 5th deck that I've opened. I have another couple that are really, really cool as well. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. All right, so I randomly picked this one. I put the other ones off to the side up there at the top. These things are kind of weird to open. Like if you want to keep the integrity of the box, you kind of have to use like a razor or some scissors or something. Otherwise, you just kind of jam it and rip the top off. But maybe that's okay. I don't know. That's okay. All right. The Cunningly Sneaky Healer of Dolby. I'm going to try to cover up the QR code here. So we've got Hunting Witch. I guess I could do that before I upload the video. See, this is thinking ahead right there. Hunting Witch. Pretty cool card. Look at the art. Some of the art on this game is super sweet, and some of it is not so much. Niffle Queen, which is a cool card. uncommon, very powerful. To go with these Niffle Apes, how many did we get? 2? 2. Okay, cool. So 2 plus the Queen is pretty good in my book. 2 plus the Queen. So we got 3 of them. They get really strong. They can ignore Taunt and Elusive. Alongside the Queen is pretty good. Mushroom Man, that's really good. This is a card I haven't seen. So this is a rare, you can tell because it's got a star at the bottom. Skirmish, and then deal 2 damage to any creature after you've played it. So the moment it hits the board. So it comes in, does something kind of fast, and then is really tough to deal with, which is pretty sweet. I like that. We've got Snufflegator, which is just a skirmish creature, also hard to deal with. So it looks like this this side, the Untamed, is just going to be a lot of big things that are hard to take off the board without just some simple board clear, like wipe everything. It's really cool removal, Lost in the Woods. Life Web, if they played 3 or more, this is sort of situational the way I see it, but there is a possibility you could hold this in your hand and declare when you need to Untamed while they play, like, you know, a bunch of Mars stuff out. Full Moon is a really interesting one, so each time you play a creature, it looks like this deck has a lot of creatures on the Untamed side of things, which is nice. Cooperative Hunting is a card I have not seen, which is weird because it's a common. But that's kind of interesting, that ability. Deal 1 for each friendly creature in play. You may divide that damage. Oh, wait, I have seen that card. Silly me. All right, into the Shadows side of thing, we have Urchin. Pretty straightforward. Umbra. Got Shadow Self. Looks like double. No, just 1 Shadow Self. Old Bruno. So he captures 3. And they go to his card, and if you kill him, your opponent kills him, then they get their stuff back. But as long as he's out there, he just holds it. He's got Elusive. So that's still really good. Naughty the Thief. Elusive. It's a cool card because of the stealing ability. Bad Penny. It's like a love it or hate it relationship with this card. It's really good with Secret Needle, though, as people have pointed out on the internet. Secret Needle deals 1. Bad Penny takes 1. You get an amber from it, and she goes back to your hand. You just play her again. Pretty cool. Pawn Sacrifice. So there's 3 of these. It says sacrifice a friendly creature. If you do, deal 3 damage to each to 2 creatures. And every time you play one, you're getting an amber. So that's a really powerful effect. If your opponent has exactly 1, then steal it. But the really cool thing about this one is that you get 2 every time you play it, which is nice. Bait and Switch, really amazing card. If you haven't looked at Bait and Switch, then you should look at Bait and Switch, because there it is. It's really good. Protect the Weak. This was a card I did not know existed until I made the video I uploaded earlier. That card's art is really amazing. Some amazing art, some not so amazing art, but this one's pretty cool too. Each time you play an artifact, gain 1. I wonder how many artifacts are in this deck. Let's take a look at the list. There's a couple in this one. Not as many in the others. In the other houses, excuse me. Gray Monk. Each friendly creature gets 1 armor, so he just does that. And then every time you reap with him, he's healing 2, so it just keeps your stuff alive. Very cool. I love this commander. This commander is really cool. You reap with him, and then you get to use a non-sanctum creature for some reason. Champion Tabris. Fight, capture 1 every time she fights, and she's got 6 power and 2 armor, so she's hard to deal with. This deck looks like it's just really hard to deal with in general, outside of the high power level clears and stuff like that. Return an artifact to its owner's hand. So this is 1 artifact. We have the same one repeated. We've got another artifact. Heal 3 from a creature. Again, just really hard to deal with. That's cool. Purge a creature with power 5 or higher. So that's a good situational card for some big stuff. Again, purge a creature. Terms of Redress. Choose a friendly creature to capture 2, and he just keeps it on his card. And then finally, Binding Light. One of my favorite Sanctum cards, Binding Light, because you can just throw it down when your opponent really doesn't need it, or really wants to do something big, like a big swing turn, or you've built momentum on the board and you're reaping and they have to deal with it, and then you just say, no, you're going to play this other random house that they don't want to use. So this is one of the things that I really like about this game, is that this deck, compared with the deck I just showed, is just so wildly different in play ability. So this one is looking, it would appear, is looking to get a bunch of big stuff out that is just really hard to deal with, and then just control the board that way with physical fighting and reaping, that sort of thing. And this one's doing just completely different stuff, looking to, here, let me get that out the way. Just looking to control with some really powerful control pieces and do like synergistic things. I think that's so interesting about this game, and one of the reasons why I'm so smitten with it right now, just because every time you open one of these decks, you could get something completely different, and it could play completely differently, and you're not pigeonholed into playing this or that. You just pick one up and play it, and then you put it down and pick another one up and play that one. All right, let's keep going. Here's deck number 3. Let's find a way to open this. If you know of a better way to open this, be my guest. Tell me. I like these boxes. I like the art on the boxes. I like that it feels substantial, but not like I don't want to break it, you know? Whoa, look at that. That's cool. Cerebra, faint, Papa Weld. It started off so good. Let me see if I can fix the focus again. There's a lot of people that are hunting for the, I guess the real hotness right now. The thing that people want are the 4 Horsemen decks. And they are Sanctum, so we'll see if we can come across one of those. That'd be hilarious if we did, but I'm not sitting here crossing fingers on it because who knows, man. Those things are amazing, though. Seem really cool. So we know Protect the Weak. I didn't look at the card beforehand. Figured we'd just look at them together. Vamos Lightbringer. That's a really cool art card. I like that. Destroy an elusive creature. Commander Raimel. We got 2 Commander Raimels. That's cool. Champion Tabris again. Champion Anafiel. Yeah, that's right. Anafiel. So he's got Taunt. I like this card a lot just because of the Taunt feature. It makes it a lot more, interesting, and you have to work around it. 2 of those. Very cool. Sigil of Brotherhood is also a really cool card that I like. The Omni abilities, I think, is something I want to see explored a lot more because it's super interesting just using this at an opportune time and then just use Sanctum alongside of your other ones. The Spirit's Way, that's a card I have not seen. Destroy each creature with power 3 or higher. Wow, that's powerful. That's good. Take hostages for the remainder of the turn. Each time a friendly creature fights, it captures 1. Shield of Justice. Cannot be dealt damage. I've seen this one before. This one's a little wonky to make work at times. Glorious Few. Again, I'm going to say it again. Cool art. For each character or creature your opponent controls in excess of you, gain 1. That's very cool. My brain thinks in terms of like Dice Masters and other card games like this. So this to me is like an underdog ability in Dice Masters. If you have less of something than your opponent, do something. Rocket Boots are really cool. It's an upgrade that you put on a creature. Fight or Reap. If this is the first time this creature was used, then ready it, which is really cool. Just do things twice. The Adventurer do it again. Escoterra. Gain 1 for each forge key your opponent has. This one's a little slow in my mind. Dexter again. Double Dexter. Library of Babel. Okay, I've got a really cool deck with Library of Babel, like a 2x Library of Battle. 2 copies of it. Very sweet. Sorry that glare is there. It's annoying. Action draw card, though, is very cool. Scrambler Storm is a cool card. Your opponent cannot play action cards on the next turn, so they can't use board clear type things. Very nice. Double Scrambler Storm. Remote Access. Use an opponent's artifact. Fogify. Effervescent Principle. Such really neat names of cards. Loses half, rounding down, gain 1 chain. I was playing a game online. There's Crucible Online. There's a way to play this game online. I was playing a game online, and I just kept using cards like this to make my opponent not be able to forge his first key. And I was on like key 2 and halfway to key 3, and it was just really disgusting. This creature gains destroyed. Return this creature to the owner's hand and deal 3 to each creature in play. Can be played on some really cool little creatures that go with it. Another upgrade. This deck has a lot of upgrades. +5 power. War Drummer. So you could pull back all of your Brobnars. Lomir Flame Fist. So this is stealing. This is stealing again. Oh, did a card stick? A card stuck. Crump, too. I like that guy. That's nice. Nice effect. He's strong, too. Just big guys. This one doesn't feel like it has as much synergy, like blatant synergy that screams out to me. There's a lot of like decent looking cards. I will say that. A lot of decent looking cards. Screech Bomb is interesting. Gauntlet of Command. A lot of like little artifacts and upgrade things that I haven't played around with as much with the games that I've played. It's really cool. Double Gauntlet and War Song to finish it off. Gain 1 each time a friendly creature fights. So great for Brobnar, right? So this one's interesting. It's got a lot of like fighty mechanics. It's got a lot of the Sanctum stuff that just makes things difficult. Where's the double taunt guy? I was just holding him. The double taunt guy makes things a lot more interesting. You slam him down on a board with Brobnar stuff. Let's do another one.